participant. Can I request Dr. Sriram Raghavan, can I start the session?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So hello everyone. On behalf of Sai IIT Bombay, I welcome you all for today's session, that is expert advice on BIG application, do's and don'ts. We have received various queries related to BIG application preparation. And to address these queries, we have arranged this today's session. And we have some excellent speaker, eminent scientist here with us to address those queries today. I'll quickly tell you the agenda for today's session. That is, I'll introduce all of you to our today's speaker. We have two speakers today. And after the introduction to the speakers, I will briefly tell you about the sign. For those who are not aware about the all the activities about the sign or do not have adequate information, I will, for their benefit, I will quickly introduce sign to them, and then we'll move to the BIG related questions for your BIG application process, for which all of you are here today. So let me start the session with the introduction to our today's speakers. So as I've already mentioned, we have two speakers. Our first speaker, we have Dr. Sriram Raghavan, who will address your application related queries, BIG application related queries, who is a well-known and successful entrepreneur, scientist. He is also an expert reviewer for various BIRAC schemes, including BIG. So he'll be able to guide you about the BIG application here. So Dr. Sriram Raghavan is a senior vice president and member leadership team of a company, Jananam Private Limited, which provides niche services in deep science, innovation, and biomolecular engineering. Dr. Raghavan was also previously a vice president of Evolva Biotech, which provides the product that can contribute to health, well-being, and sensory enjoyment. Dr. Raghavan has done his PhD in biotechnology from Bharatiya University. He has also done the management studies from Harvard Business School. He was also a part of various biotech companies where he has experience as scientist, analyst, project leader. Dr. Raghavan has also worked with the Confederation of Indian Industry (CII) to help the government of Tamil Nadu to formulate a biotech policy for the state to attract the revenue of at least $1 billion by 2025. He was also a part of the Biopharma Vision 2020 team that laid out the biopharma strategy for country, which was finally submitted to Department of Pharma, Government of India. And with this, he has a lot of expertise in affordable innovation across life science sectors, discovery informatics, diagnostic, pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, cosmeceutical, and personal care. With this brief introduction, sir, I welcome you for today's session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pranita. And I just wanted to thank the entire SIGN team for doing this. And it's an excellent effort from all of your side to put this together. Thank you so much for calling me.
Thank you, sir. Then I'll introduce you to our next speaker, today's next speaker. So we have another speaker today, that is Dr. Lini Basil, who is a recipient of prestigious BIG program from the BIG 15 cycle. So she will share with us her experience of throughout this BIG application process journey till now. Dr. Lini is a dental surgeon with 13 years clinical experience. She is also certified internal auditor for QMS for medical devices. She is presently incubated at TIMED, which is a business incubator of Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology for execution of her BIG project. So she has selected TIMED as her BIG for the incubator for executing her BIG project. She has also awarded as one of the best innovation in the dentistry at Oral Health Innovation Competition 2019 at AIIMS New Delhi. Currently, she is working on development of novel solution for patients who are suffering from severe dryness of mouth. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Dr. Lini for today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Pranita. I'm really honored that you gave me an opportunity for this. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thanks, Lini, to be here. Next slide, please. So before I go to BIG grant related discussion with our speakers, I know for which you are waiting for this session to discuss with them, but I will briefly introduce SIGN to everyone, and later we can ask questions to these speakers. We will also take questions from the participant towards the end of our discussion with the speakers. I request all the participants to post their questions in the chat box if they have any in between the session. I'll quickly introduce SIGN to all of you. SIGN, that stands for Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. It is a technology business incubator which provides start to scale support for technology-based entrepreneurship and also facilitate the conversion of your research activities into entrepreneurial ventures. So it gives you start to scale support. If you have any idea which is a technology-based, which can create an intellectual property, you can approach SIGN for the same. Then SIGN was set up in back in 2004. It is one of the earliest incubator in academia with the potential to create the startup which focus on economic growth, strategic value, and social relevance. So we support the research or the startup who has some technology involved and can create an intellectual property. Next slide, please. So what SIGN has created, I mean the impact SIGN has created in these 15 years. So SIGN has supported 172 startups besides the other startups or the innovators, entrepreneurs, which comes in other grant programs such as BIG, prototyping grant, various GSTs program. Besides that, we have incubated 172 startups. Through this process, we have supported 550 plus entrepreneurs. These startups have raised around 1400 crore funds. At the same time, through this process, one of the important feature is 4,000 plus employment has been generated and created through this process, which is one of the achievement in its own. We have currently 57 companies in physical and virtual incubation. 66 companies have been graduated till now, graduated. 10 companies have been merged or acquired by the major companies. Another important thing is that 100 plus IP has been generated in this process. One of the important or maybe interesting thing about this process, what we have discovered is that against the 1 rupee SIGN has invested in these companies have raised 110 rupees against that 1 rupee, which is an achievement again. Along with this, we also have 33 companies who have created a social impact even during this pandemic situation. Along with this, our success stories, we also have some fair share of failure where 39 of our companies have been folded their operation. Next slide, please. So this was about the SIGN. Now we are here basically to talk about BIG, that is Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is the flagship program of the BIRAC. And call for which is 2020 and it will ring 2020 till 5:30 p.m. not midnight, 5:30 p.m. So it is an auto close process, so 1 minute after 5:30 it will not accept your application, so please do submit your application well in time. This grant program provides you the grant in aid support up to INR 50 lakh. For this process, you need to select BIG partner as well as incubator. SIGN is one of the BIG partner for this process. You can select SIGN as BIG partner, as well as you can also select SIGN as your incubator if you would like to associate with SIGN for executing your BIG project. Otherwise, like Lini, because she is in a geographically different location, she has selected a TimeAid as her incubator because it was closer to her, as well as it has all the facility which is required to execute her BIG project. Next slide, please. So this is about the selection of the BIG partner and the incubator. Now, what SIGN has to offer as a BIG partner here? So SIGN provides you pre-application mentoring, personalized mentoring and guidance for the application process. So some of you have already participated in our earlier BIG guidance session, as well as the informal interactive session where you have interacted with us. We have connected you with our mentor as well. Similarly, we are, as I have already mentioned, that we are a BIG partner as well as we are incubator. So you can also obtain a letter of intent from us for the incubation purpose. For that, you can write to us and we can issue the letter of intent to you. Then, of course, during this review process, one of the review stage is where you pitch to the technical evaluation panel, where you have to make a pitch within 8 minutes, where you have to effectively tell about your proposal, your idea, your product to the committee effectively in 8 minutes. And we give you the guidance to how to pitch, how to prepare your presentation for this TEP. So that pre-TEP mentoring is available with Sign. Sign generally conducts 3 to 4 sessions with each applicant to make them, to get them ready for this session. I think Lini can tell us more about that, her experience as well later on. Then of course, post BIG selection mentoring. So once you are selected for BIG grant, or as well as with Sign, if you have any selected for any other program, prototyping grant, we also provide you the relevant mentoring. It could be business mentoring as well. So Lini, I think again I'll say Lini has participated in one of our business cohorts. She can tell us more about her experience later in the session. So all this sort of a support, or the mentoring support, which helps you to grow into your entrepreneurial journey or grow in your ventures, that can be provided by Sign. Of course, at the same time, access to infrastructure, advanced instrumentation facilities. So Sign has various labs: biolab, prototyping lab, electronics lab, these metalworking lab. These are available for your earlier R&D work, as well as to make your product for the validation purpose or early validation. You can do all that sort of a work in our lab, as well as a common instrumentation facility at IIT Bombay, with whom we have a MOU, that are also available for you. Then we also introduce and connect you to our entrepreneurs network, who help you to connect, collaborate, in your venture for your startup. So they help you to grow in your venture. So all these sort of things are available with Sign. There are many more, but for the interest of time, I will limit myself to this much points. So this is the reason why you should choose the Sign as BIG partner. And if you would like to choose Sign as incubator, you're welcome. You can obtain a letter of intent from us. Next slide, please. Now we'll come to the point for which all of us are here. So all of you wanted to know in our previous sessions, this was the question we were continuously getting from you. What is the balanced application? What is the complete application? Okay, so I think evaluation parameters we have already shared with you in our earlier sessions also, and we have said things about this, how this has to be addressed in your application. But today I think we would like to know more from our speakers here. I would like to I request Dr. Sriram Raghavan to unmute yourself, and I'm coming to you that I would like to know from your side, what is your opinion and suggestion for the complete comprehensive application? Maybe ingredients, I'll put it in another word, ingredients for good application, balanced application.
So there are two important points, Pranita, which I would actually summarize. What you've cited here is very good, but let's say in practice, to all the 60 participants who are there, who would have already participated in several BIG applicants, I'm going to use you as an example, Pranita, if you allow me. You had presented, I think, second or third slide on impact metric. Can you go to that slide? So I will use that as an example in terms of how, if you remember, Sign impact metric you had used.
Sure.
Yeah, let's stop at this slide. So I'm going to use Pranita for all the participants who are listening to me as an example. She took about 2.5 minutes. I think 251 seconds she took. Then she started the slide. In 251 seconds, she read out the most important numbers. She highlighted that 1:110 rupees, which is an important in the row 2, which is a positive news. And she also highlighted the 39 that folded, which is a negative news. But the way in which she used words, language, how she presented was fantastic. It was very simple. She was not bombastic, but she had exactly presented in terms of the metric that is there, both positive and negative news. This one slide captures the pain points, the success story, the travels and everything. And she did that in 251 seconds. This is one of the best element that we would want to see typically when a participant or when an applicant wants to present the problem in a nutshell. Because each of the reviewer will be hard pressed for time because they are looking at several other things. So this is very unique. I mean, there is, of course, there are other incubators in the country. There are several other people whom we can talk about. Some people may say Sign is very novel. So what have they done? So this one slide, she has done it very nice. So I would request, if we can actually present in a very similar way, especially impact metrics, time and again, we are not being presenting quantitative information. Most of our information is very qualitative in nature. We give very broad market numbers, which are primarily Google data. If we can do something like this for our own problem, what we are trying to solve, that will be very useful. That's number one. Number two is from an IP perspective. I'll come back to that later, but it's very important that, at the end of the day, the 50 lakhs is hedged against an intellectual property because it's a taxpayer's money. So we have no right to give a taxpayer's money without getting any asset in return. So that IP is going to be very important. I'm going to say, how do we go about it later in the talk. But this is just a summary that I wanted to leave it at it, Pranita.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Vandana, can we move to next slide, please? So I think this is one of the most asked question, I'll say. I'm getting this question very frequently. How should we address this section of our application? What should we include in proposal summary? Or how should our concept note should look like? Or what is the ideal concept note? Is there any format available? I mean, all these questions I get from the applicant, prospective BIG applicant. So I would like to know from you, sir, as a reviewer, what do you, when this is the first section where we actually read about the problem statement or the solution which applicants proposing in their application. So how do you see this as a section and what do you expect in this section from the applicants?
Yeah, this is very important, Pranita, because this is an opening section. So this is something which we see only in the offline review mode, because in the online they're very different. In the offline review mode, as participants may be aware, there will be 3 reviewers who will be going through this. And all the 3 reviewers may be experienced in their field, but most of them will be assigned multiple applications. So they will have to take their own time, despite they involved into their business, they have to take extra time to read. So it is not that, reading our application is a primary business. So in that context, they actually tend to get attracted if the opening is very good. The opening is not very good, then, subconsciously it is very difficult for them to pick their mind. So there are 2 parts in the slide that you see here. So let's come to the first part, which is a summary. I would not write more than 5 or 6 lines. Let's keep you keep 100 words. Before you start filling the application, please do an offline Word document with the same questions. I think Pranita has done excellent work. You can please borrow the questions from her. Write 100 words. In 100 words, you should be able to exactly bring about what is it that you should bring about. Number 1, please cite what is the problem you're trying to solve. Number 2, what is the solution and what is the objective and how are you going to move? And from that perspective, please adopt as much as possible SMART principle. What is SMART principle? Please go to Wikipedia and check. We look at if the goals are in line with the SMART principle. SMART is like simple, measurable, achievable, time bound, and all of that. If your goal is not, if your goal is as per SMART principle, there will be quantitative numbers in it. You will be talking about the problems in terms of numbers, how your solution is going to give impact in numbers. So if you do not have any of those quantitative or at least semi-quantitative aspects of your solution and how unique it is very difficult to, people will have an impression that we are beating about the bush. So that's very important in the first opening line. So for example, I may say if I'm going to have solution for lung cancer, I would say that 1/3 of all the deaths that are actually happening globally is because of lung cancer, and recently not many of them are due to smoking, and pollution is also one of the reasons. And let's say I may give you a reason saying 34% of it it's because of pollution, and let's say for example more than half of those cases are people who are below 40 years, especially exposed to pollution. So that means that's an opening line. People are trying to, so I've been thinking smoking is responsible for lung cancer. Oh, that's different. So that kind of a slight head turner would be good. Now, the second part of that slide that you have kept, Pranita, is that in terms of the concept note, I think I have seen many applicants not really use this section very effectively. I mean, they are drawing flowchart, which is fine, but we are not looking at all the process flowchart and all of that. Please put an expected prototype or the end goal, what you're trying. I mean, it could be a dream, not a problem, but at least put an end goal in terms of what is it that you're trying to achieve. It is a place for you to cite your vision as a representative diagram. So let us not waste this section. So I think it's better to put what is it that I'm going to, if I'm going to put 50 lakhs as an investor, what am I going to get? So that is something which I wanted to see visually, which I will not be able to see it in the first part. So that's what I would expect.
Okay. Okay, sir. So I have one small question here, and I mean, when you were explaining, it is excellent, sir, information. So here I can, if I am the applicant, can I also mention along with my problem statement that with this problem statement, I have identified the unmet need, and along with that, I have identified, let's say, opportunity which is available for me. Maybe in terms of a market, or maybe number of patients suffering from this, and that's why my device or my solution comes in picture, which can help these people. Some sort of those numbers also, in terms of opportunity, can be mentioned here in this section.
Yes, you can mention here, but you have to tie that particular mention to the impact which you are going to talk about in your later slide, because both of them should have a link. Many people actually cite Google data in the first section, and they talk about a different impact metric later on. And a reviewer, when they see both of them do not gel, and that's the problem. So whatever we are going to talk in terms of numbers, you are right, Pranita, but they should correlate with the logic in the impact section later on when you move.
Okay, sure, sir. There's one more question from my side about concept note, sir, because these people would also like to know how much we should write in concept note. I mean, how elaborative this should be a 2-page, 3-page. So I would like to know, as a reviewer, what should be the right answer for such questions?
I mean, if in half a page, Pranita, if I cannot explain my concept in a very simplistic manner, I mean, this concept note here, we don't need to write so much of science and all of that. So concept note is concept note. It's half a page is good enough. Maximum 3/4 of the page. I think if you're going to write 1 page, I think then it becomes very diluted. So I would, if I'm going to be an investor, I would want 100 words. For example, a global competition, if many of these participants have any experience competing global grants like, this Hewlett-Packard grants and some of those, international grants, they only give you probably 15 words. It's like Twitter, no? You only have that many limit of characters. So we will have to complete it within that, then the impact will be maximal, so that, it doesn't get diluted. Maximum half a page. Whatever else, I think they can actually move it to the flowchart and diagrams in the second part.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good input, sir. So I think for all our participants who had this question about the concept note, so please don't skip this concept note, because we also always find out that concept note is not uploaded. And this is one of the important section which reviewer looks when they evaluate your application. So please do write concised, maybe with as much as detail, but the concised note which can, which should, reviewer should be able to read, should be short, crisp, so that the reviewer is able to review your application.
So
I think
one example, Pranita, just to give so that participants will know. So let us say, I'll give 2 examples. One is, if I'm going to work on a device, people are tired of seeing so many devices. Most of the devices, they will say invasive, non-invasive, a diagnosis or a prognosis, a treatment of some particular disease. I mean, that's how the pattern goes. But then the question is, why should are you just going to be one more device in the market? Look, already there are 6,500 device companies in India in the last 5 years. So are you going to be 6,501st device company? Why should I even do that? You may even have an IP, but are you just going to be in that space? What is so unique, and why should I even look at you in that device space? That, I think, element should come up very, very up in the front, number one, because when VAG started early on, there was less competition. Now these days there is increased competition, so people are looking at that responses. Number 2 is in terms of, second example is, let's say, for example, if I'm going to come out with another organic fertilizer, let's say I'm going to come out with another hydroponics, aquaponics, these are, if you're going to Google all the BAG applications, you can actually group them into probably 6-7 types. And these secondary agriculture, industrial biotechnology, I'm going to come out with another enzyme, another bioplastic, another biodegradable. So these are all called, kind of another. You may have, valid reasons to say why you are unique, but we will have to explain that in the first 2 or 3 sentences. Why are we unique in that bioplastic or degradable, and some example like that. So because there are a lot of applications in the same area coming again and again.
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. I think that is has to be correctly put there by the applicant. I think here on this concept note, I would also like to know from Dr. Dini, because she has won this BIG grant. She has gone through this all this review process stages. So I would like to know from her, like, how she prepared, how she approached this section, addressed this section in her application. Dr. Dini, you are on mute. Yeah.
The proposal, as Sriram sir said, the proposal summary was very short. Mine was very short, and at that part, I described the unmet need, everything in that short 100 words, and in the concept note. But I had put figures and diagrams also, because the concept note doesn't have any limitation of 100 words. So if you want to say a bit more, if you want to explain a bit more, you can include that in the concept note also, because many mentors said that mostly they will review the proposal summary and the concept note, not all the details. Other details they are not going to read. So we have to be very clear about the proposal summary and the concept note.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Lini. Vandana ma'am, can we move to the next slide? So, sir, I have another question for you, for which most of the participants need a lot of help, actually, I'll say, because most of these people are faculty members, sometimes students, and they're very good in their technical knowledge. But this one section, which they feel that they need a lot of help or mentoring to write this section. So I again come to you for your suggestion. What do you these people should address? How they should address this section? What's all sort of details you look, or what all sort of data points they should collect when they are writing this section?
It's an excellent question, Pranita. So the BAG is all about creating commercially sustainable enterprises. It need not necessarily be by the same person who's starting the company, but at some point of time, BAG's goal is to create as many sustainable, commercial ventures as possible, because only commercial sustainable ventures can actually create jobs in the country for long term. So what we would subtly, the reason why those 3 points are there, Pranita, is that subtly we are expecting the participant or applicant to do some homework, not simply, like Kekulé discovering benzene structure. Close your eyes and then imagine one circular structure and then draw whatever comes to your mind. No, that is not how it is. That's science, that's fine, we appreciate it. But does it, all the science is not garnering commercial interest. For example, Fair and Lovely may have its weakness, but they are selling 18 million packs year after year, despite all the color, all of the things that we talk. So the point is, commercial interest is very different. So we expect the participants to go and talk in their domain. For example, if I'm going to have something, with regard to a medical device, for example, if let's say I'm assuming that, let's say, Lini is an expert in that area. So I would go and say, hey, Dr. Lini, look, you have been in this area, you have been a practicing doctor. Can you please tell me, how good is this? And I have to take an honest feedback. And then let's say I have to ask, look, who do you think I should go and look, talk to? So let's say Dr. Lini is going to connect me to someone else, and then I have to go and talk to that person. So by talking to 2-3 persons, that's kind of a basic, very preliminary secondary research. These things can be done over phone. You don't need to go and meet people physically. The point is that secondary research tell us, should I, for example, should I invest money and manufacture this particular idea long term, or can I simply out-license it? We want the participant to really think through that. Number 2, for example, even the basic proof of concept. Suppose I'm going to say I'm going to cure cancer. I mean, curing cancer is a kind of a dream. Let's like, curing HIV and all of that. Is it realistically possible in 18 months? Because a project goal is 18 months. That is the way timelines and milestones are put. So my goal may be big, but is it achievable in 18 months is very important, which people do not give attention to. So we want them to really break it down into those milestones, and especially at least minimum 3 milestones, but don't make it more than 5 milestones. Data for each of the milestone. And then of course in data analysis, the moment you want to talk to people or experts, they will tell you what is really required. For example, you don't need to really go out and do large-scale trial or large-scale proof of all the ideas. There are some small, kind of a data set that is required. For example, this morning in Nidhi Prayas, we were reviewing somebody who's making a very innovative tea machine. All that we said is, look, you can actually take some customer feedback, but you don't need to keep it large. But the most important question that I think the experts were asking is, who defines the taste of tea? Somebody says dum chai, somebody says, masala chai, etc. Actually, the answer lies in creating an organoleptic map by a tea expert. That is something which the participant had missed. So that example goes all the sections. So we want the participant to spend some time, talk to the relevant people. I think Sign has got good network. Sign can also help in terms of collecting those 3 points and then give a thought and then fill it. So if you're going to fill the application last minute just for the sake of filling it, forget it.
Yes, yeah. I think as you have mentioned, this application process, I mean, the review, as the review is extensive, the application writing process has to be extensive. The appropriate data collection, data point collection is necessary to address this particular section. I mean, as you have rightly mentioned, sir, that you would like to see the focused, I assume you would like to see the focused application where these people are saying that I probably have, I think 10 steps to complete, to make this product complete, but under BIG within 18 months with 50 lakhs, probably only 3 steps are possible, which I would like to take here in my application.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt, Pranita. Actually,
yeah.
just to, just because it came to my mind. So there are two components to the data presentation. One is on the application, one is on the slide. Slide will come back a little bit in a while. On the application side, when they actually complete data, we see that most faculties, when they are trying to convert their idea of research into this, they think it is just another grant and they cut and paste all their publication data. No, that is not what we want to see. That is good for proof of concept, but that's it. That is a scientific part of it. We also want to know how are you going to make a commercial venture out of it. So, that's a long gap. That's a big delta between the two. So we want you to think about it. So it is not just a cut and paste. And the same thing goes when you're presenting. When you're presenting, I think 2 or 3 minutes and you'll spend on that in terms of how you present scientific data with proof of concept, and then the commercial data comes. So the data actually has got both commercial and the scientific elements to it.
Okay. So, answer this data which we are talking about has to be collected by talking maybe relevant people, customers, or how this data has to be, such data which we generally do not, I mean, we can Google and get the data, but this data is not really useful when we say the addressable market, target customers.
Yeah, actually that is right, Pranita. See, here the data that we want to see, as I told you, one is the science part of it. How, for example, someone is saying that I'm going to make a biodegradable plastic. We are going to question the materials. How do you say something is biodegradable, the half-life and all of that? That's the scientific data part we want to see. The second part is, let's say, who is going to buy this? Are you going to give this biodegradable plastic to, distributors, or are you going to give it to end customers, and at what price point and all of that? How do you arrive at those conclusions without looking at the data? So before even you enter into a biodegradable plastic venture, we want the applicant to really look at, some kind of market information, not the Google information, practically looking at, some kind of early secondary, not detailed, but early secondary research saying, you call up some plastic, vendors into that space, some high-end space people, so who are willing to pay a premium. And they may say, look, we will not pay, if I'm going to pay 1 rupee per handbag, I will not pay you 2 rupees. Maximum, I will pay you 1 rupee 20 paisa. I mean, that's a very important information. So we want those kind of nuances of information. Of course, remaining you can get from Google, but at least some secondary data will be useful.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So I think I think this is one of the important point for our participant, how they should go for collection of this data, because this is one of the frequently asked question. I think I would also ask Lini here. So Dr. Lini, when you address this particular, because I understand you are from you are a practitioner, you are a dentist, so you are totally from technical background, and how did you address this section of your application?
Okay. About the data analysis, I actually approached doctors. Dentists treat, my problem was dry mouth actually. And so dentists usually treat dry mouth, but I went and talked to cancer oncologist. Then I personally met patients who really suffer from dry mouth. So that was an eye opener for me. As a doctor, from the point of view of a doctor, we think that these are the real issues of patients. But when we hear from the real customers, those who are going to buy my product, that was a real eye opener for me. So I would say you have to collect data from the customers who's going to buy your product. Then you get the real cue points which you have to include in your product. That was one thing which I did in the analysis, data analysis. And the timelines and milestones, maybe I can add some points there. As the primary investigator, we are the people who know where our project really stands. Some might be in the idea stage, some might be already working on it. But while planning the milestones and activity, we need to be very practical, very much practical. Divide the project into 3 phases. Like it is 18 month, BIG is 18 for 18 months. So you divide it into 3 phases. And so like each phase takes 6 months. And then you split the 6 months again and put your milestones and timelines, so that if keep it in this mind that if it is a software, it needs testing. Software testing might be there, and if it is a biotech product, we have to do animal testing and all. So these things take more time than we expect. It might take more time. So give that part more weightage. And the regulatory affairs, the approvals, these things need again takes time. So such milestones have to be given much more weightage for time. And one tip which I would suggest is that we have to stand ahead of our we have to try to stand ahead of our milestone always. If we are saying that I will finish this milestone at 4th month or the 5th month, I have to try to reach that milestone at the 3rd or the 4th month, because any untimed delay can happen. Like now the COVID-19 has happened and all the works are now delayed. These things can happen in future also. So we have to keep this in mind while planning our milestones and timelines. And the market entry strategy and all, I actually discussed with my business mentor, because I am totally from the technical side. So I had to discuss it with my business mentor. You have to have a very strong business mentor with you. That is what I would say.
Yeah, thanks, Lene. Thanks, Lene. I mean, I understand from the first discussion we had for your BIG application, and since you are speaking now, I mean, so much of improvement for this particular section and planning your activity. I mean, it's tremendous, and. I think I have one more question here, since it is related to this, which you have spoke about timelines and milestones. You must, there is a section where it is asked like what sort of a challenges you will face. Okay, and then what is your strategy to overcome those challenges? So how did you actually identify it? I mean, how did you really thought about that what sort of a challenges you can have during this process?
Okay, like strategy challenges you're talking about, no?
Yeah.
So when that also, my product is basically a bio kind of product. So I was incubated in TimeEd also at that time. So basically, when I selected the incubator, I looked into the lab facilities, everything which I can overcome my obstacles also. Like if I face any challenge in continuing with the project, I thought of whether these kind of facilities are available and whether I will get any alternate strategy from there. Those things I have thought about. So actually, when you plan the strategies, you have to think whether there is any obstacle, and it has to be a teamwork. No, you have to get help from others and overcome those obstacles.
Sure, sure. Can we move to the next slide, Vandana ma'am? Yeah, so sir, I think I'll come back to you for this very important section in the application. And we go through so many applications, and we most of the time see that people feel very less information here. And sometimes they ignore this section totally. I would like to know about this particular section, and also these people have a lot of questions about what is a possible, I mean, when there is a thing like possible overlapping with similar technology, what is the freedom to operate in the envisaged area, or the requirement of license in case of a restriction of FTO. So how they should address this section, keeping all these things in mind?
So it's a very important section, Pranita, as you rightly said. So let's look at it in 2 parts. One is generally when we review the application, of course, we will have access to, because there will be a due diligence team that actually gives us the data. But I'm going to talk from an applicant's perspective. most of the times, applicants are not trained in terms of intellectual property searches. They actually go to Google patents and then they type biodegradable plastic, dental implant. If you type it, you will get at least, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 entries. Similarly, you go to USPTO, and if you type two keywords, for example, together without a Boolean operator, it is going to tell you 0 patents. So many applicants wrongly assume that there are no patent in dental implants at all. I mean, this is two extremes that you actually see very often. So what I would kindly request, and which I am actually now helping many other participants, is that I think each of them through their incubator, every incubator like Sign or any other incubator, they have access to IP services team. If they are genuinely interested in doing an IP, I think there is a small fee that one needs to pay because you can't take it free of cost. So if you're really confident of taking the bet of BAG, I think one needs to take the idea very clearly and sit ahead before the BAG filing process, use the incubator, their IP services team, spend some time and money on it, and then do a very quick IP search. That IP search will have two things. One is, what is it that I'm doing which is very novel and industrially usable portion that I will get IP, number one. Number two, am I going to step on somebody's toes and later on get sued? Because most of the economy in the US, for example, runs on patent litigations. If you're going to make one wrong step in a commercial move, you will be caught and you will be sued. May not be in India, but the moment you go global, you are finished. So the IP team would actually tell you, what is it that you can get novel, if at all there is an IP in it, and what is it that are you going to step on somebody's toes. So please spend some time with the IP team. You don't need to go and search. Incubator themselves will help you, but you will have to pay for it, small amount of money. If you can do that, and there are some serious applicants who are actually doing it because they don't want to take any chances later on. And be very honest, if there are a lot of patents covering, you can say there are a lot of patents covering. But having said that, there are some patents that would have already expired. So that would have crossed more than 20 years. They are in public domain. So you don't need to worry about it. But at the same time, you have to worry about how do you protect your invention, which again, the IP team will tell you what are the go around strategy to protect your invention. Now, there are also third component. For example, if I'm going to make a face pack, saffron bridal face pack kit, that is going to work on keratinocytes and it will make the bride shining, fantastic, during the stage, or all these kinds of advertisement that you see. Let's say if saffron bridal kit is my IP, I don't need to take an IP for it. I can actually do a proprietary route at it, but I can say there's going to be a copyright, or there's going to be a trademark, and there's going to be some kind of non-patentable, but at the same time, I should be able to protect my invention and get a value out of it. And the IP team will also tell you what are the ways to get about it, because they will give you comprehensive surveys. So please explore all those options before you fill the section.
Yes, yes. So I think in this section, I will also need Dr. Lini's help as well. I would like to know how she approached this particular section. Have you filled it, or have you just left it, writing just 2 lines or something, maybe?
No, actually, I did the patent search. Initially, I was a BIRAC's SIIP fellow initially. I was in TimeEd itself. So at that time itself, I did a patent search about my this idea. So through a patent attorney. So using that during that time of fellowship, I took a provisional patent for this. Mine was patentable. It had IP value. So I took a provisional patent, and so it was pretty easy for me.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Lini, for your answer. I think at this
one point, I think there is someone who's actually asking a very interesting question. What could be an IP at an ideation stage? So, see, the idea at BAG itself is about ideation and making a proof of concept. It's a good question, but here's an answer. If I'm going to make a saffron bridal pack, let us say it is not there. Forget for a moment, of course, Banjaras are selling that in Hyderabad. Let's say for a moment, assume that nobody's holding, and I'm the first person in the world to make a saffron loaded bridal face pack kit that works on keratinocytes. This is an idea. I have 0 data on it. Now, what is IP in it? At least by taking the idea, when I'm going to sit next to a patent attorney, please remember that the patents are written in a very, very smart way, so that you should not find, and you won't find patents that easily. Because if you find patents very easily, obviously you will not work on it, you will not step on my toe, so I cannot sue you. The idea itself is I want you to come and take over my patent so that I can file a case against you later. So that's the intention of lawyers. So the point is, so patents are very deliberately written so that you are not able to find using keywords. So there's something called classification search. So my patent attorney would take my saffron idea, would go into cosmetics, would go into spices, would go into various other classification which is not evident from a keyword search. And then the person would say, look, there are 64 patents, covering your saffron bridal kit. They may even write a bridal skin in a completely different scientific terminology so that I cannot mine it by keyword. So, it is exactly at the ideation stage that someone needs to do this kind of a discussion. Then the IP team will tell you, hey, don't go this way, but instead think about this way. So you need to have your technical team and IP team working together, probably in 3-4 sessions to really arrive at what is, in fact, refinement of ideation itself will happen when you're actually doing the intellectual property.
Yes, 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 sir. I think, and these patent attorney, why they are required is that sometimes the claims which are written so well, probably we may not be able to understand it, but they will make us understand related to our product or maybe our solution. So I think it is a good suggestion that that is from both of our speaker, that before you approach this section, it is a good idea to approach the incubator, or if any IP attorney, lawyers, or any IP consultant, if you are aware, do contact them, get more information about relevant patents which are already available in the area in which you would like to operate. So get the more information about that, and later on you fill this section where you can also mention that what sort of a patent you would like to file, whether it is a product file, designed, product patent, design patent, any copyright or anything, whatever you would like to protect your property, intellectual property, the strategy for that, you can mention it here. Maybe 1 patent, 2 patents, whatever.
One more thing,
Yeah.
Pranita, sorry to interrupt you. For
Sure.
those participants who cannot afford, money, not much money. So what we suggest is that if you go to DIPP site, of course, now it's a Startup India site, I think. If you go there and if you create your own account as a startup company or in your individual name, you will be able to get a list of all the DIPP approved, list of IP attorneys in your area, based on state and region, they actually divide. I think there are 2 or 3, patent attorneys that will be close to your area. And these people would not charge you much money, provided you have registered under startup and you should be a DIPP approved company. Because if you're going to apply for BAG, you would have, having a plan of registering a company. And if you are a DIPP approved startup, they would do it at a very, very affordable price for you. So also give that a shot.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
Pranita,
Yeah.
this when we apply through this patent search through the attorneys, they will give us, as sir said, there will be 64 or 70 patents, related patents. And if you read all these patents itself, we get actually we get certain ideas which might be overlapping with our idea also, so that we can think differently. It is a very good thing that to read all these patents. I read all my related patents and understood what is the difference between my idea and the other people's idea. That is a very interesting, but it takes some time, but it is very good to read all.
That was great, Leni. So I think on that we have one more question here. One is for Dr. Sriram. But before I go to sir, I have, there are 2 questions related to IP. I would like to answer one of them first, and then I will go to Dr. Sriram for another question. So the one question is, does BIRAC BIG grant include fees for patent attorneys? What is the protection of idea put in application without patent application? See, of course, there are different budget head which we will discuss in our further slides, where there is a money allocated for the IP section, where you can allocate around 1.5 lakh, 1.5 lakh budget, or 1.5 lakh rupees, which you can use for doing all these things, filing your application. You can consult this patent attorneys. So all this can be done under BIG during 18 months. and what is the protection of idea put in application without patent application. So I'll just say here one thing. Whenever you put your anything in your application, whoever goes through your application are bounded by some oath for confidentiality. So whoever reviews your application, they first sign the confidentiality agreement. So they will not disclose your ideas or your work anywhere. So this process is totally safe when you are applying for BIG. Now I have one question for sir here, is that if similar technology but different material composition, does it stand different and no issues?
Of course, that's a good question, but yes, that is how patents emerge. Because if you see, touchscreen was patented by Microsoft probably in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Then what is Apple doing with iPhone in 2007? So actually, by the time Apple came, there were more than 65,000 granted patents on the technology. What differentiates truly is in terms of how you actually apply that, what are the claims you're going to get in terms of your industrial utility and application. So that's very important. So formulation claims are perfectly allowed. So you have to see how that formulation is not going to be a me too, but it is going to be radically different, and what is the pain point it is going to address. For example, you have made a formulation and simply going to add a very obvious, let's say I'm just going to add a sodium chloride in your formulation, which is obvious, and then make it different, then that is not going to be patentable. So this is a very important point. Generally it is patentable, but please discuss with your patent attorney, because with respect to your specific case, they will be able to guide you better.
Okay, so I think
and there is one more question that someone has asked, saying, sorry to say that DAPP is not permitting. That is very simple. You have to have a DAPP approval on your startup, because taking a DAPP approval doesn't cost much money. You have to be a private limited company and you have to apply for DAPP, because DAPP attorneys will get their, typically they charge about $1 lakh. How do they get their lakh of rupees back? Only they get as a subsidy when they actually file a patent on your behalf if you are a DAPP approved startup. And DAPP takes its time for approving you as a startup, because there are many sources of illegal money circulating a startup. So DAPP will scrutinize your application and then give you approval as a startup. So one needs to go through that process.
Okay. So I think before...
someone is also asking, how about publication data versus patent? Can we use published literature which is not patented? So please note that, see, if you are going to really patent something, absolute secrecy. I mean, you are not expected to talk about it anywhere. When someone is asking even for writing a BAG application, is it okay? That's the level of, confidentiality you have to maintain. So forget about publication till you actually file your patent. But if you are not going to, let us say, patent an idea, of course, you are free to publish and then you can go about. There is a complete difference. Please see that owning a patent is a completely different process, a very expensive process. Each year you have to pay maintenance. If you are going to go global, there is a lot of money. If you are going to have a global patent, please, have a budget of at least $200,000, at least from a company perspective. If it is going to be an Indian patent, it is still, it's not that expensive, but still you need to have some budget later on. If you're going to allow it to die down, then it's not a problem. So patent is completely meant for a different purpose. And also the last point, the reason why patent is important is we want to see if we can monetize, make some money out of the patent. Let's say if Dr. Lini is having a very important, let's say, dental innovation, if she has filed a patent, I want to see if I can in-license or I can actually buy her patent out for a consideration of few $1 million. Only then the patent will be of value. Otherwise, you see, everybody is, for example, many of the government institutes, they file hundreds of patents. How many of those patents get translated to commercial reality? It's very little. And those patents are typically called as paper patents.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is important, very important input, sir. I think I have two questions here, which you can, I think, address at the same time. The question is about the applicants who are applying, let's say, for second or third time, and they have received certain comments from the panel, or maybe from the an online review process. How important is this? It is to address this comment in their application as well as during TEP process. So I have another question which is in parallel or in line with this, is that your suggestion for the applicants who are pitching for the TEP panel during BIG review process, again for the fresh applicants as well as the applicants who are applying for, let's say, second or third time.
So people who are actually applying again after second or third time, so there are two things that we want to see when we review. One is what is the interest level? So many people go away when they are turned down with some reason. But there are a lot of people who have come back probably third or even fourth time very consistently. Each time they come up, they actually specifically give a very satisfactory response to the question that is raised, and they first put that into the presentation. They say, look, this is the, this is a BAG number that I attended, BAG 12, 13, whatever it is. These are the questions, these were the responses. That we want to see upfront, because then the reviewer can quickly move on saying that, look, somebody has explored this, someone has actually given a thought, what were their comments and how did the individual address it, because anyway they're going to discover it in their documentation given to them. So it is better to be upfront, and you can tell them, look, this is what happened, and see how I have addressed it or how this is relevant or irrelevant. If you're going to put down those comments, many times what happens is the next committee thinks that, okay, this person is not really valuing the comments, so why even consider the application for review? But please trust me that those who have been consistently coming third or fourth time, I think they have more or less they've got through, as long as they're very logically they're addressing the comments.
Okay, okay. So I think, and sir, some tips for this. So I understand that pitching to TEP panel is about 8 minutes. It's very short time where we have to, applicant has to say about all about their project, along with the technical strength, commercial strength, as well as if they have received any comments from earlier rounds, they will also address it there. So it is a very short time. So what exactly they should do to, present to for presenting to the TEP panel? Any suggestions from your side?
Majority, Pranita, majority of the people who are very successfully presenting, if you say out of 10, you can easily pick 1 or 2 who are very good presenters. How did they get there? It is not a magic. When we are all born, we are not born with all ingenious skills, right? So it is all practice and training. So I think one needs to give some importance. I think many people think it is an academic keynote presentation. They will go and stand there and open a slide deck, and they'll be fumbling for even connecting the slide deck. They'll say, "Arey koi hai? Mera slide deck connect kar do." These are very interesting questions. Second point is, when they talk about, they actually spend a lot of time talking about their unmet need. We know about your unmet need. We know about the problem. 30 seconds, that should be enough. So how are you going to do all of this? You highlighted so many things, Pranita. How is it possible? The only way possible is practice, practice, and practice. Arjun didn't become the best archer overnight. He actually practiced when all of the students in Dronacharya's ashram were sleeping. He was actually practicing with his bows and arrows. So same logic applies here. The more you practice compressing what you want to say, try making it very clear. Let's say have some well-wishers around you who can be very critical on you. Do that again and again. It's like going on a stage. You should be looking good on that day, the way in which you present your confidence, the kind of data that you're going to have, and it's like a story. One simple example, Pranita, that we do is that we actually make participants watch 2 kinds of videos on the YouTube channel. One, there are well-known pitches, elevator pitches for 1 minute. You need to cover all the quantitative data in 1 minute, 60 seconds flat. That's number one. Number two, we make participants watch TED Talks, and TED Talks typically is about 11 to 12 minutes. So this both will give them a kind of a feel in terms of TED Talks are more kind of involving. There's a storyline behind that. And the business elevator pitches are more quantitative in terms of how much money they can make. So listening to them, when we design our own 6 or 7 minute pitch, we spend about 30 seconds in terms of the reviewer's comments. So that's the kind of a practice we do. And typically this practice lasts about 2 or 3 weeks before the presentation.
Okay. Okay, I mean that is and that is how we also mentor them during the pre-mentoring session, which generally conducted at Sign before your TEP stage. We also ask you to make a presentation for 8 minutes. Then we go over your PPT, ask you to add important points, highlights of your presentation, which can tell TEP panel more about your solution, product, commercialization strategy, IP, all this stuff. So I think what So said is rightly, that practice is another thing, and you can see all these videos and make your presentation perfect when it comes to the review stage or TEP panel.
One more thing, Pranita, typically if they have any kind of a model prototype, because obviously it's an ideation stage. So for example, some people, they actually 3D print a model. 3D printing these days, it doesn't cost you much. Let's say if I'm just giving an example, let's say if Dr. Lini is going to present using some dental implants, she will go to a 3D printer and actually 3D print the entire thing and just showcase that. All of this light and sound performance actually adds to the review that day, saying that you're very confident about your idea, what you're going to do.
Yeah. So I think I'll also ask Lini here. I mean, she has gone through this TP presentation thing. So I would like to know more from you, Lini, that how you tackle this particular stage preparation from your side.
Okay. Actually, as Sir said, I practiced really hard because I will stand in front of the mirror and practice and practice. I did the presentation many times in front of the mirror and in front of my immediate people. And I would suggest that first 2 minutes matters. A normal introduction like I am so and so, rather than this, we can walk, take the, you can walk this panel through your story and tell them the crux of your idea and solution and the introduction in the first 2 minutes. Everything should be in their mind. And the TEP is mainly to see whether the innovator has is able to do the or perform the activities. The panel knows everything about your idea, everything they have reviewed. The BIRAC has reviewed already, so they know all these things, and they are basically evaluating your ability to perform the activities, whether you have a good team, your your confidence in taking the project forward. All these things the panel will evaluate. So they assess the IP value of your project, your team members. That is very important. As a for a company, they have a team already, but for an individual applicant, the team is very important actually. And even though we are the master of, I will say that this is as a presentation tip, like we are the master of the idea and the solution, but the panel sitting there knows the technical part very well. When they say any suggestion or when they ask any question, you have to take it very positively. Hear their suggestions in a very positive sense, answer to them in a very courteous and polite manner. You know the idea, you are the master of the idea. When you say no, this is my idea and this is going to work, you have to say it in a confident with confidence. You have to talk, but in a polite way.
Yeah, I think that is one of the important, I think, input and the tips, because panel also, look for the participant attitude as well, how they perform during the presentation, whether they can, they're receptive for the comments or not, because they, in their journey further, they will be listening to a lot of people, advisors, mentors. So this is another way to, look at the participants, applicants as well. So be polite in a way where you are, putting your points, they will be heard. The panel is also very receptive for, and they are there to hear, listen from you what you have to say about your proposal. Very right. Next slide, please. So I have, I think, Lini, you have already answered this objectives and this thing. Next slide, please. So I have one question, Dr. Lini, for you, is that about the budget, as well as I would also like to know two things from you here, Dr. Lini. The pre-TP mentoring, which Sign provided you, what role that played for your BIG review process, as well as the post-selection BIG mentoring, post-selection Sign mentoring, how that helped you, further in your journey.
Yeah, I attended the pre-TEP session in person. It was actually we might know everything about the project, but it is not only the that matters in TEP. Your presentation needs to be perfect. Your pitch deck needs to be perfect. So during my pre-TEP mentoring session, each and every slide of my pitch deck was being evaluated. They corrected everything, and I reached, actually I started from Trivandrum in early morning and reached Bombay only by 7:30 in the night, but still they were sitting there and they took all their time to correct everything. And my pitch deck actually changed after my TEP pre-TEP mentoring session. So they will give you, help us to correct the marketing and budget things and all. They will correct it. And after the TEP, then I attended this business cohort mentoring. And as an individual innovator, we need to know about a lot of things about the business and marketing things, because we BIRAC expect us to develop a company based on our idea. And company means you need to know about business. So the business cohort study, that study was for 15 to 17 days or something. And from the basics of business, like what is business, to how you will go forward with this whole thing, the marketing, everything was covered, and it was very useful for me. And it is leading me in a different path also now. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it was every time I listen to this business cohort, this thing, these sessions are also important, useful for me. They're eye opener sometimes. And yeah, I have one more question about the budget. Lini, see, we receive a lot of questions from the people. How should we budget? So it was your, for your product. How did you go about, making a budget for your solution,
Right.
BIG project?
Yeah, first is the equipment part, no?
Yeah.
So 15 lakhs is the maximum amount we can avail for the equipment. We have to make sure that all the applicants should make sure what all facilities are there in your incubator. The common, there will be common lab for a common lab in your incubator. Whether any facilities which are available in the incubator will not be provided by the BIRAC. So the important equipments which we really need for the project needs to be included in the equipment head. And in the budget head, like manpower, as a primary investigator, we are not supposed to work anywhere when we are in the BIG. BIG is a full-time project. So we have to take a salary for our own from this budget head. And it is a team member or the assistant, project assistant might be there. You should be having a project business consultant or a statistician, maybe in healthcare devices or something like that. We might have a need public health scientist. All these people need not be for the 18 months. They can be for 6 months, 8 months. Plan it like that. And you have to ask other people what kind of salary they are being offered similar job opportunities. So, and plan it accordingly in the manpower. Consumables, we have to ask different vendors and collect quotations for each and every items we need, and then plan our consumables. It is a flexible head, because we can use our budget for these consumables. And next is the big proposal, I think it is like other cost. That is the heading, only the other cost. So it includes the rental part. Part is like how much the incubator charges per month, that you have to include. If you need a clean room, you have to take money for that also. And the company registration, if you want to register, if it is not an if, you have to register a company. So the company registration, the testing facilities. So outsourcing for the testing facilities and all takes money. So those things should be included in this the other cost. And about IP, when we are filing for the IP, you have to file for the complete specification. Then you will be filing for the PCT. And again, there will be charges for examination of the patent. There will be charges for changing the IP from your name to your company. All these will be charged. So you have to ask your attorney. If you ask your attorney about what is the charges for IP, they will tell only about the IP charges. They won't tell this will be the cost for examination, this will be the cost for name change, everything. They won't tell you. You have to ask each and everything. Then they will give you the real quote. And it can come up to 1.5 lakhs also. That is how I did the budget planning.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Lini. So I think another point from my side is that obtain an important quotes, appropriate quotes from all these people, even if it is using any clean rooms or anything at your incubator. So obtain the quote for everything that Dr. Lini has done when she has preparing her budget, and then according to that apportion the money here. See, the budget is important thing with which you are going going to do your project, execute your BIG project, and moving of money from one head to another head is not allowed. So preparing a budget is important thing, and enough time should be given to for the preparation of the budget. Now, sir, I think we have already exceeded the time, but I will still ask few questions here, sir. Some of the questions which we have received during registration process. One, I think, interesting question, since this session is about do's and don'ts. I think they would like to know what is the good proposal and the bad proposal. I think from the bad proposal answer, probably they'll come to know what they should not include, or maybe what they should skip.
If, for example, I have given some examples on the biodegradable side, or on the cosmetic side, or on the implant side, for instance. Whatever that we really want to do something unique, Pranita, actually, if you go out, somebody in the world would have always done it. Every single thing is already there. So, for example, on the day when we are going to present it to them, typically your title, suppose you say, another biodegradable plastic or whatever it is, somebody is going to Google in their mobile phone. One of the expert will be Googling. When they Google, obviously, in the first 5 hits, they are going to find the same dental implant, same biodegradable, same enzyme, etc. So they are going to say, "Hey, boss, this is just one more, yet another, same thing." So the way in which your opening title, the words you are going to use, all of them matters in terms of how you distinguish even an ordinary, looking idea. For instance, you don't need to, the idea need not be path breaking. All that you need to show or explain in a different subtle way in terms of how are you different and why is that different, matters. Are you really going to solve genuine problems for a customer? And why is no one thought about it? I mean, why is it that you are different, and how is it that you're going to do this? I think should come out very, very early on in the first 30 seconds. If that is not coming out, then whatever things circus we are going to do, it doesn't matter with the reviewers. So that's the key thing that people will have to follow. And one more thing, for instance, as Dr. Lini was saying, for example, if I'm going, just because BIG is giving 50 lakhs, many times the project is worth only, let us say, 27 lakhs. If I have 27 lakhs, let us say I finish. People write 49.98 lakhs. That doesn't really speak very good in terms of how a participant is really coming. Is it Namke Vasu just writing something, or is that person really, caring about business? And some reviewers really notice, and they say, they appreciate your honesty. They say, look, you have been very honest and said 27 lakhs. Okay, let's give this a try, because at half the budget, I'm going to get 2 projects sanctioned. I'm going to look good. The participants will be happy. Let's go ahead with it. Of course, you may come back and say, will that be enough? Yes. If you're a smart entrepreneur, actually nobody gives you grant. You would say, if you're going to be in other industry, if you're going to be in chemical industry, you're going to have something else. I don't think they have been given this kind of a facility. So how are they surviving? So there are always ways to survive. They could always find an angel investor to invest in your business if you're confident about it. So think carefully in terms of how you really package the solution also. And someone has also asked, saying that, BIRAC doesn't cover clinical trial, etc. Yes, exactly. That's the point. BIRAC is fundamentally for the proof of concept and the way in which the concept works. If it works, then the way in which you can actually do clinical trials, that there are separate projects with BIRAC where you can actually apply them once you scale it up to the next level.
Pranita, there is a question. Sir has just answered it. In fact, please tell on the process of clinical trials. Should we include it in the 18 months plans? Actually, as Sir said, BIG is to make the prototype, but we can make the prototype ready for a clinical trial. That is what my milestone ends like that. My product will be ready for clinical trials. So the regulatory things, you can do it during the 18 months plan, but you cannot do the clinical trials with BIG. But the regulatory approvals, all things, you can do in this time process, during this time process.
Yeah, so this grant is basically for the idea to proof of concept. Preclinical validation, some part can be allowed if the committee accept that request. If it depends on the stage of the product. If it is between towards the achieving the POC, if there are few steps remaining, so it again depends on the committee. But then of course late validation or advanced validation or systemic clinical studies cannot be done as a BIG, there are different grants available from BIRAC for that. So you can apply for them. There's no problem. But do not commit something which you will not be able to do within 18 months. It could be problem for you, because whatever you claim you will be doing, that will be expected from your side to complete within 18 months. And again, as sir said, do not over budget or under budget your project. Please take appropriate quotes. I would take two questions here from sir from the chat box. One is about intent letter format. So this format is available with incubators, and if you have to approach the incubators, they will issue the letter. They have the format. They might ask you the relevant documents for that you need to provide. So you need not to have the format with you. Incubator has that. The another question is, if the project involves a device plus bioinformatics, how do we project our idea? So would you like to take this question?
This is exactly what academic people they are working on it.
Yeah.
It's not an academic grant. So imagine I'm going to put my money, I'm going to be investor. I'm going to write a check out to you. I'm going to ask you a simple question. So if I'm going to, you can ask me any amount of money. You can ask me 1 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, like the Shark Tank American program live on this channel. Pranita is going to bring me somebody and that person is going to ask me 5.6 crores. I will write a check right now. But I want 5 times that money in 5 years. Will you give me 25 crores back in 5 years? Let's say otherwise I'm going to cut the neck down. I'm going to put you onto the fire. Will you do that? If you cannot do that, then be very cautious in terms of what is the pain point you're going to solve. You're going to build a company out of it. So it's not a typical academic grant. I really don't care if it is bioinformatics or dental implant or whatever it is. What is the problem at hand? How are you solving? How much money do you need? Typically in a commercial way, in this case, BIG is not going to ask you, but commercial, some investors are going to ask you, how much are you going to give me back? When are you going to give me back that money? So think always from the commercial perspective, because if you're not going to have that perspective, finally you will be ending up in 18 months, you will just get one more grant. It will become yet another academic thing. You will go back to applying yet another academic grant. So you will not be able to build a company out of it.
Okay, yes, and that's very correct. I request Vandana ma'am to move to the next slide, please. We will take another 2 more questions. These are some things which you need to keep in mind while you apply. Please keep all your documents ready. Deadline is 15 September 2020, 5:30 p.m. I think we have discussed all these points. Next slide, please. I think there is one question in the chat box. Will the equipment remain in the incubation center as we require testing on it? So we keep it with us? So I think I would like to answer this question is that, see, when you are preparing your budget and there is an equipment head, you can purchase few equipments under that head, but again you need to check with your incubator. If they have this instrument, then you are not advised to purchase this for your project. Again, provided you can give proper justification. If you require those equipments regularly and they may not be made available for you every time, then in that case, with proper permission, you can purchase them. These equipments you can keep with yourself whenever you are moving out of the incubator or something. That time you can keep this instrument with you because you have purchased under your equipment head. I think any domain people can apply for BIG, or it is only for biotechnology? I'll say ki there are, please go through the BIRAC website, as well as please do contact us. There are certain thematic areas under which you can apply. It can be clean energy as well, but there has to be some bio component involved. The name of the grant is Biotechnology Ignition Grant. So some bio component need to be involved, or it has to have an application in the biology field. So this is how people with those sort of a solution product can apply for this.
Pranita, my answer, my interruption would be there is that let the person, whatever idea I did, let them bounce it off to you, and then you can take a case by case call in terms of how that, so that you can, because it's a very broad question. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they are welcome to write to us, and we are conducting this Q&A informal interactive session with the people on Wednesday. Please write to us, and I will forward you the link for the session where you can come interact with us. We can set up a separate meeting with you to address your questions which you cannot ask in a common meeting or something. That is also can be done at SIGN. There is one question in the chat box. Can I propose 2 project assistant instead of 1? Of course, you can do that. However, there is an upper limit for every head. So human resource also has an upper limit of or upper cap of 30%, under which whatever, I mean, how many people you would like to hire, that is possible within that limit. As Lini already mentioned, one person can take out 50%, 50,000 per month. One person at a time, and then you have limited funds in that head, so plan accordingly. I think with this, I think I understand we cannot take all the questions, but as I have already mentioned, we have the separate Q&A sessions where you can ask your questions on every Wednesday to us. And if you have any questions for our speakers as well, please do write to us on these email addresses, and we will forward it to them. We will, and I am sure Dr. Raghavan and Dr. Lini will help us with those queries if the people have any targeted question for the speakers. So we will forward your queries to them, and we will try to address them because of the interest, in the interest of time, probably we need to close this session now. But please do meet us on every Wednesday. We will if you have already registered with us, we will forward you the link for the session for the informal interactive session. At the same time, we are also we have this is a Power Hour series, so every week there are very interesting sessions which we conduct, so please do attend that as well. Under BIG also, we will be doing one more session where we will specifically talk about the commercialization strategy, about while applying, as well as you are taking ahead your BIG project in your BIG journey. So we will have more discussion on that topic in a separate session. We will forward you the details about that session as well. Now I would like to thank Dr. Sriram Raghavan. Sir, thank you so much for participating in this session and joining this session, addressing all the queries of the participant. As well as I would also like to thank Dr. Lini for also participating in this session. And thank you both of you for your valuable time, sir.
So one thing I think for participants also is that I have not seen this kind of a commitment from other incubators in terms of constantly engaging. I think really appreciate the entire SIGN team for doing this together. And I think you folks have really thought through putting this idea together, of taking one reviewer, one person who has been successful, grant applicant. I think that's a very good idea. And thanks for making it very interactive. And it's a wonderful effort from all of your side. I think it requires a lot of effort to pull this off. And thanks to Dr. Lini also for patiently addressing. There is one important lesson that, for example, participants can also look at it. Both Dr. Pranita and Dr. Lini have exhibited a very nice presentation mindset today. For example, Dr. Pranita has been very, strict to the facts in terms of what she has to say. She actually stuck to the time. And if you see Dr. Lini's way of approaching a question and answering is very calm. She is very, she's a very good listener. And she's explaining that with all patience. And I think that's something which at least we can imbibe. Many of us may not have all the qualities innately, but I think it's good to imbibe certain good qualities from people. So with that, I think I thank both of you as well as all the participants for your attention and time.
Thank you, Sriram sir, for your kind words. Thank you very much, and thank you, Pranita, for giving me such an opportunity. And I'll be available if anyone has any doubt about any presentation or anything. I'll be glad to attend to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone, and I thank all my participants today for joining. Please keep in touch with us during this application process, and we will provide as much as support we can. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.